I don't know about you people, but I expect everything less. And I don't know about you, but live action adaptations of animated series can sometimes could be a massive hit or miss when it comes to a record award winning cartoon like Avatar: The Last Airbender. Now I grew up when watching Avatar: The Last Airbender was live back in the mid to late 2000s, watching it all the way from book 1 when Avatar came out the goddamn ice, when they finally beat the goddamn Fire Lord. I don't care if this is spoilers. Bro, that was my childhood. So knowing when I was over in the theaters back in 2010, freshly out of finishing over book 4, I had the DS game when I was little. So you think I wasn't excited to see a live action make of one of my favorite cartoons? And I know this is how it is when we all experienced M. Night Shyamalan's poor adaptation of one of the biggest cartoons in recent media that you could barely even have that much of top 10 cons with when it came to loving the characters, the choreography, the lore in between the different choreographies and fighting style, how every bending style works, the diversity of different techniques, the world building over in Last Airbender, every character and their nuance to one another and growing into every season. Not every character ends up acting the same. The comedy fits well over with the tone of the show. You can barely have any negatives to say about something like The Last Airbender, and it just conflicts with me over 15 years, and they just want to push it over the same momentum like they're doing for that One Piece live action show that is like 100K, not over 100K. I know they gotta pay like millions of dollars an episode, and the extension of even trying to continue over something that's like One Piece is like 1,000 episodes and over like 1,500 like chapters when you read Japanese comic book. So it gets a bit extensive how much, when it comes to the adaptations, how much you can timely pace in a manner while trying to still keep your audience like fan serviced up, while like trying to still mix over your references, your fan service, while still conserving the plot and condensing it. Like, over the trailer I watched over for the last Avatar, for the Last Airbender live action trailer that recently came, it looks like they paced over Aang. It seems like they finally got real live actors that would actually fit how they look like in the show, especially Zuko with a visible birthmark, and still, instead of looking like an angry emo Indian, he looks like a banished prince that got physically like burned from his family and banished from the Fire Nation. Aang looks like a kid. Katara and Sokka actually look accurate to how they do in the show. My thing is going to be the acting, the pacing. I feel like that's going to be a massive detriment into the way you can split over what took 4 segments of books, world making, and like completely different characters entirely, that transitions on how you're going to transition the Love Tunnel, Bossing Say, Jet's Group, the Kyoshi Warriors, the invasion over the Fire Nation to the Earth Kingdom, and format that over an episodic pace that's possibly going to be shorter than the book and the cartoon series that have a couple of years to actually end up while trying to explain almost everything. I'm not gonna lie, I'm sure our excitement, especially if the guys that watch the M. Night Shyamalan film, I can understand. We all could take this with a grain of salt, thanks we know how we've kind of been burned, no pun intended, by the goddamn by the terrible adaptations of certain live action series. If you like anime, if you like cartoons, just to make sure everybody's even caught up over to speed, I suggest for you guys to watch The Last Airbender. I think it's on Netflix. Is one of the best cartoons you guys will ever watch. I swear to God. You'll love the characters. You'll love the dialogue, the choreography, and when you get like further details between like every character and how they bend the elements in certain ways and how they can mix it up. It's going to show how much like heart and soul was like put into the show and why it's so hefty and profitable for certain companies like even Netflix to try to transition this over the live action because how profitable the series was. Hell, you could even say the same thing about the animated series that they had for the Scott Pilgrim show after the movie from like 2011, and it didn't do well box office wise. So over the wasteful eye of Netflix that can episodically stream and then counteract that momentum, you could. The only thing that I have an issue over is like the binge culture and how much you could profitize over live action, because that's somehow going to be more profitable than making a remake or even making a sequel series while paying the same animators, because we know in modern media like animation isn't as big as probably getting live action, producing writers, producing artists, getting production. So they'd rather push over the live action and get some goddamn I'm joking, but that's the type of thing that Netflix would rather do. But guys, I'm really not hoping this sucks. I'm really not hoping this sucks. When this comes out next year, I'll be watching to just see how it is, and I'm sure you guys are too, just to see if this fails or not. But if it's somewhat okay but faithful over to the source material, but just doesn't look embarrassing, I'm gonna accept it for what it is. But that's the expectations that I can put. But that's the expectations I'm sure a lot of the audiences already have it in, because we all have seen this before. And it's of course like majority of media that even is pushing over. We go over to Game Rants, Variety, and stuff that they don't want like misinterpreted or missed out over from the story. That's how much like high expectations still to this day. Over a decade, nearly a decade and a half, like the show's been done, and this is how much we're expecting over for the cartoon. For the live action to actually be faithful to the series. So I feel like at least visually it's over in the right direction, even to the way they even got Appa. So I'm gonna just try to give it a chance. But for everybody to just keep it safe, I would say keep your expectations low for the time being. That's it for me. Tell me how you feel down below about the new the teaser for the Avatar: The Last Airbender live action that's coming out soon. I'm gonna go take my Tylenol.